The MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's
go. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Well, here we go. It is Monday, and nothing happened over the weekend, so we're good, Shady. It's going to be a short show.
It's not going to be a short show, sir. Welcome to Monday, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am currently reposting the show because it's going to be a very good show. Because guess what, Jeff? We have 3 days. Monday's always great because we have 3 days of news to report in 30 minutes. it's so insane how we like figure out like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And what are we going to not talk about?
Well, last night, this happened. I mean, at 1:27 a.m., we're going to talk about that. It's huge, guys. It's a midterm meltdown. And Trump keeps teasing about 2028, doesn't he, Shady?
Yes, sir, he does, including to put the hat on at the correspondence dinner on Friday night.
Oh, my goodness. Shady
Something tells me he's not joking.
Yeah, something is telling me. In fact, maybe President Trump is telling me that he's not joking.
It might be him. That's a good point.
There he is with Trump 2028 hat on. I'm sure all the heads are going to pop. And I don't know, Shady, you sent it to me. I was sleeping. And you sent it to me apparently at, 1:27. Okay, let's get right into it because it's about 48 minutes long, Shady Groove, okay? It's 48 minutes and 25 seconds. But what I want you to notice here is this is the Midterm Meltdown, and it's the ProParadigmNewsletters.org. This gentleman right here, former U.S. presidential advisor, warns what's coming in the next few months will blindside most Americans and hand you a once-in-a-decade windfall, okay? There's a timestamp at 1:27. What is that? The graphic is your key. Let's pause and say hello to the rogue intelligence agencies we currently monitoring these threads. Was the money worth it? Titanic. Q. Shady. The graphic is your key. Do you think that this presentation about the midterm meltdown would have any Q proofs in it, Shady?
Well, now, see, I can't answer that question because that's a loaded question right there. And if I did, then the audience might not want to watch. They might just listen to me tell them what happens and then go away. And I think that they'd have to stay and pay attention to what's happening. He can't do that timestamp. I want people to understand 127 for him to hit that timestamp. If he posts that at 127 in the afternoon, it's theoretically 1327. Mm-hmm. So it's not as relevant now as it is whenever he comes and he posts. He stays up for you. He stays up for us, the anons, the people that are on the wall 24/7 that never walk away from the wall. That's all of you, the American people, we the people. Well, he's up at 127 to send you a message to share with you the future of our country and exactly how it is we're going to navigate. And this is a big, big deal to understand what Q was really about and how a lot of, if not most of what Q was, has still yet to play out.
Wow.
Amazing, dude, that the 127 timestamp connected directly to the map. Remember, post 128 is a post of every single post. 128 posts is all 128 posts.
Yeah. The guy on the left looks like Epstein's reincarnation. Thank you, Stormy. Don't kick him out until he gets a red castle. Get him a red castle, guys. Let's go.
Which one? Me?
I don't know. Stormy_light. We're getting attacked because we're going to show you how Trump can possibly be Trump 2028, maybe even up to 2033.
See, okay? These little, they're going to start creepy crawling, Jeff. You see that they've been laying around because they thought that they were going to be able to, quote unquote, survive Trump. Guess what? You're not. You're not like all your narratives about Israel and Epstein and all your absolute communist nonsense you've been trying to utilize to hurt MAGA for a decade now. Yeah. All dying right in front of your face.
We're being trolled by somebody that plays Fortnite, Shady Groove.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. Well, let's
and who else played Fortnite? Oh, Epstein. Oh, so you have more connections to Epstein than I ever will.
He was probably Epstein's partner in their mission.
Yeah. I want to thank a couple people here real quick. Shady Groove Reality Popper, 5 subscriptions. Thank you so much. And SAG Sag Pig, thank you so much. Love you, brother or brothette. Now Stormy Light can be out of here. See you later, bro.
Might be a sister.
See how we do that, guys? We wait for the trolls to get a red castle. Then we boot the trolls if you want.
It's a sister, not a brothette.
It's a brothette. It's a
sister.
Sistet. Oh. Okay, got it. All right, so got the red castle. Do whatever you guys want. Leave them in here. I don't care because it's freedom of speech. You can think I look like whatever you want because I don't care, Shady.
See, now look at you go. Look at you. Look at you
that
go there.
Look like I cared.
You got a shady moment.
I did. All right. So let's get into this because this troll is not going to like what they're going to see, Shady.
No troll will like this, sir. Tucker Carlson not going to like this. Megyn Kelly, Thomas Massey, none of these people are going to like any of this.
No, they're not going to like it. So let's just go over this one more time. Okay. This is President Donald J. Trump on Truth Social. He's also posting Mike Lee, nuke the filibuster. We've got to do it, guys. All right, we've got to do it. But
I'm glad Mike Lee's on board, by the way.
Yeah, thank God. And then somebody else came in and said they were on board too. I can't. It was the guy from Florida.
Oh,
Scott. Tim Scott. Yep. Oh, look, this man caught. Look at he's posting Jew derangement syndrome. Look at this.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
A Nazi. We call that a Nazi, sir.
Yeah. Whichever party terminates the filibuster first, we got that. Okay, so this is it right here. Midterm Meltdown posted at 1:27 a.m. Let's just remind everybody what that post was. It was 1:27 timestamp. Is the graphic is your key? Let's pause and say hello to the rogue intelligence agencies currently monitoring these threads. Was the money worth it? Titanic, Shady. And it goes to this right here, the midterm meltdown. Are you ready? Because this is huge. And please let me know if I can pause it. I will pause it and we will have some conversations because it's pretty big, Shady.
So I just want to let the audience
know. Your president posted this. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly right. I'm right there with you. And this is I thought it was like a little over 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's 48 minutes. There's no way we're going to be able to get through this without stopping both of us and making comments as we go through this. What you're going to see is an unbelievable amount of things that associate directly with what you read in the Q drops from whether it be talking about civil unrest, talking about like deep staters or talking about the future of the country or the saving of the country. All of these things have direct ties to the Q drops in this, interestingly enough, infomercial that he's forcing everybody to watch till you can get the link at the end.
Yeah, guys. And he talks about, oh my God, here we go. You guys let me know if you find any Q-isms in there, okay? Why don't you guys let me know in chat and we'll pause it too. And oh my God.
Okay. So we're not going to talk about any Q-isms unless the chat notices them. And then we're going to respond to the chat.
I
didn't say that. You said that. I just said, hey, if you guys notice any, let us know. I didn't say we're only going to stop when they want to stop.
I know. Well, it's just like right off the rail, didn't I?
Mikey, are you taking notes here?
You definitely should be taking notes. And I'm playing with Jeff right now. I'm sorry.
Q-isms. That's right. Independent Sentinel. We call them Q-isms. All right, here we go. So check this out. Here we go.
You're going to do your YMCA dance, or you won't have a choice during this.
All right. Scottish Anon says, let's try and count the Q proofs. Please keep a running total, Scottish. Will you do that for us?
You won't be under 20.
All right, let's go. So this is it. Here we go.
If you have a 401k, a brokerage account, or even a savings account at your local bank, the next few months could be the most important financial period of your lifetime. Not because of a recession, not because of a market crash, but because of something most Americans have never experienced. A collision of political, legal, and military forces, all converging on a single date, November 3rd, 2026. One man has...
So November is 11.3. Okay? Is that our first marker?
That's literally the biggest drop ever on poll, 11.3 marker.
Interesting.
Okay. A number of Q posts said 11.3. So we can't even get 10 seconds into this.
I know, right?
The same man who called the 2008 crisis before it hit, who predicted Trump's 2016 victory, and wrote about the COVID crash weeks before the market plunged in March.
Now, Q never posted about COVID or anything either, right?
Over and over.
Oh, jeez.
Of 2020. His name is Jim Rickards. He's a former advisor to the CIA, the Pentagon, and 4 White House administrations. And today, he's going to show you exactly what's coming and the 3 moves you can make right now to protect your family and your wealth.
It seems like something is coming and they can't stop what is coming. And this gentleman wants to make sure, along with your President Donald J. Trump wants you to watch this, guys, okay? So here we go. This is huge, guys. Whew.
Hi, I'm Jim Rickards, and today I'm going to put my career on the line with a prediction most people will call extreme, reckless, maybe even dangerous. But as you'll see, I've been in this position before, and each time I've been proven right. Each time I've seen a threat of this nature, I've warned investors months in advance. But today, we may only have weeks to spare. My research indicates we're entering the most chaotic, volatile, and dangerous period in American history. I'm talking about the kind of turmoil that most of us have never experienced, with massive street violence in major cities, criminal prosecutions of some of the most powerful people in Washington, a constitutional crisis that echoes the darkest chapter.
Constitutional crisis is always a Q post, is also a Q post, Shady.
It is.
In American history, and a hidden plan already in motion that could reshape Washington, D.C. for the next decade.
What?
Now, I know this all sounds extreme, but before you dismiss what I'm saying, let me tell you about something that just happened. One of the most famous lawyers in America walked into the White House and handed the president a blueprint. I was able to get my hands on it. And what's inside this document could change the course of American history. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what it says and why it could be critical to your wealth and even your own personal security in the weeks ahead. But first, I need to show you why what's coming between now and November 3rd could be far more dangerous than most people realize, and more importantly, how to protect yourself and your money. I'm taking similar steps to safeguard my family and my wealth. And today, I'm going to show you how to do the same. Specifically, I'm going to walk you through 3 critical moves every American should make before events take a turn for the worse. A handful of companies that could surge as chaos escalates. A safe haven investment that I believe will be the single best performing asset class of 2026. I've personally put over $1 million of my own money into it. And the shocking details of the plan I mentioned, one that could hand President Trump extraordinary powers in the months ahead. Now, what I'm about to share is not for the faint of heart. If you're the kind of person who'd rather bury your head in the sand and hope things work out, This presentation is not for you. But if you're like me and you want to know the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, then please stay with me. Because by the time most people realize what's going on, it will be too late to prepare. First, a little background. I've spent close to 50 years working at the highest levels of Wall Street, international finance, and U.S. intelligence. And in that time, I've developed a reputation for making predictions that most people think are crazy. Back in the summer of 2008, I contacted the top advisors of John McCain's presidential campaign, and I warned them, you won't make it to Election Day without a major market meltdown. At the time, very few people believed me. In fact, the candidates team laughed me off the phone and never spoke with me again. On the surface, everything seemed fine. But within weeks, $8 trillion was wiped out of Americans' 401ks and IRAs. 8.7 million people lost their jobs. Nearly 10 million Americans lost their homes. And according to the Federal Reserve's own data, 100 million Americans still haven't fully recovered. But if you were among the few who listened to me, you saw it coming a month before Lehman Brothers went under. Of course, most people didn't react until it was too late. Then it happened again. In 2016, the polls gave Hillary Clinton a 99% chance of winning the presidency. While every major news network, every pollster, every political analyst in Washington said Trump didn't stand a chance, that's when I went on multiple television news programs to make a prediction most people thought was insane. I said Donald Trump would win. And once again, investors who saw what was coming had a huge advantage. Then along came 2020. In January of that year, when the word coronavirus was barely in the news, I sent a confidential memo to a small group of my readers. I called it Contagion, and I warned them a global pandemic was about to trigger a panic in the financial markets. 3 weeks later, the stock market plunged 30% in the fastest crash in history. But because my readers were prepared, they saw gains of 40%, 47%, and 58%, all in less than 9 months, while everyone else was panicking. Now, I'm telling you all this for one key reason. In each of those...
Just want to make sure everybody realizes, Yeti, maybe you can put something on the top of the screen. Donald J. Trump posted this at 1:27 a.m., okay? We're watching this because Donald J. Trump, your president, my president of the United States of America, posted this at 1:27 a.m., okay? You need to keep that in mind when you're watching this.
Yeah, considering that this guy is like ex-associations with the intelligence agencies.
Yes, sir.
cases, 2008, 2016, 2020, the same thing happened. I made a prediction. Most people didn't believe me. Then the prediction came true. And by the time most people realized I was right, it was too late to prepare. And now that pattern is about to repeat itself. So when I tell you that what's coming between now and November 3rd will be unlike anything you've experienced in your lifetime, I hope you'll take me seriously. Because the weeks leading up to the 2026 midterm elections could bring about the most turbulent period in modern American history. I don't expect you to take my latest prediction at face value. You're probably wondering, how am I able to see things before anyone else? It all ties back to my professional background. I'm not just an armchair spectator. I've been at the center of some of the most important political and financial events in modern history. When long-term capital management, one of the largest hedge funds in history, was on the verge of blowing up the entire global financial system in 1998, the Federal Reserve brought me in to help manage the crisis. After 9/11, the CIA and Pentagon asked me to help build a computer system designed to predict the next major terrorist attack by tracking unusual activity in the financial markets. Long story short, I've been inside the West Wing, inside the U.S. Treasury, inside the boardroom of the Federal Reserve, and I've advised members of Trump's own cabinet on economic and national security matters. But my connections aren't the only reason I see these things before anyone else. You see, decades ago when I was working with the CIA and the scientists at Los Alamos National Laboratory, I learned something that changed the way I think about everything. The economy, the markets, geopolitics, all of it. It's called complexity theory, and it is the single most important framework for understanding what's about to happen to this country. In simple terms, most economists, the ones you see on television, think the markets work like a machine. Push this lever, pull that one, and you get a predictable result. The Fed raises rates, inflation comes down, the government spends, GDP goes up. They've been wrong for decades. And you've probably sensed this. The real economy, the real financial system, doesn't work like a machine. Imagine a snow-covered mountain. Billions of snowflakes packed together in a...
Wait, a snow-covered mountain.
massive...
What happens with those?
Let's listen.
Okay.
From a distance, the mountain looks stable.
Right.
Experts will tell you it is safe. But beneath the surface, invisible stress lines are forming. The weight is building. The system is approaching what scientists call a critical state. And then one snowflake lands in exactly the wrong place, and the entire mountainside collapses.
Avalanche.
Now, here's the insight that changed my career. A single snowflake doesn't cause the avalanche. It's just the trigger. The real cause is the unstable snowpack, the hidden stress building for years. I didn't learn this at Harvard or on Wall Street. I learned it from the scientists who use this exact same mathematics to model nuclear chain reactions. I applied it at the CIA, where we used it to predict terrorist attacks by tracking unusual patterns in financial markets. Our system detected a terror plot 72 hours before the London police broke it up. And I used it at the Pentagon in the first ever financial war game to show military planners how a single economic attack could cascade through the entire system in hours. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates called it an eye-opening experience. This is the lens I use to see what's coming, not hunches based on headlines or polls, a scientific framework for identifying when systems are approaching the breaking point. And right now, this is what I see. Something very strange is happening in Washington. I first became aware of this when I sat down with someone close to Trump's inner circle.
Hold on to your hat.
Person's name, but I can tell you they have direct access to the president's strategy and to the Department of Justice. And what they told me was stunning. Now, if you voted for Trump or you're skeptical about politics, you know many people are furious. A year into the president's second term, we've seen 0 insiders arrested, not a single member of the deep state or a member of Biden's team. Barely a soul from the infamous Epstein files. If you're like most people, you've probably wondered why. As it turns out, there's a reason, which will boil over into the front pages this summer. Behind the scenes, the White House has been quietly building criminal cases against some of the most powerful people in Washington. Former FBI directors, state attorneys general, election officials, even members of the Biden family's inner circle. And this is key. They've timed every single case to land between now and Election Day. Soon the first indictments will drop. By summer, the trials will begin. When the fall rolls around, convictions will be making headlines. And if you think Wall Street won't react to a string of guilty verdicts hitting the news every week for 6 straight months, think again. I'll show you what happened the last time Washington went to war with itself. But first, I want to unpack Trump's plan. Because like most of his big moves, it's strategically brilliant, but highly chaotic. This might seem random, but do you recall the night Trump announced his final candidacy for president? If not, I'll refresh your memory. The next morning, a strange bit of news emerged, not about Trump's speech or the state of his party. It was about the music he played at the 2024 Republican National Convention, an aria from an Italian opera called Nessun Dorma, which translates to None Shall Sleep. It's one of the most famous pieces of music ever written. And the climax, the final line, the tenor belts out at the top of his lungs, is a single word repeated 3 times. Vincero, 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 which translates to, I will win. At the time, most people thought it was Trump being Trump. But considering what's about to unfold, I think it was a declaration of war. As you'll see, what the Trump White House has been quietly planning for the past year looks less like politics and more like the script of a Tom Clancy movie.
So, Tom Clancy movie, Nessun Dorma. We've talked about that. Sum of All Fears. Was it 9 times it's posted, Shady Groove? I've even reported on that. I did a whole thread. It's a declaration of war is what this gentleman is saying. Isn't that interesting, Shady?
It is absolutely. It's interesting that he's bringing attention to this right now. Whenever we're talking about what it is that is the scourge in America, which is the people that subvert the law. Okay. At the end of the day, the real scourge is that people that are allowing people to get away with breaking the law. And that is not a legal process in this country. So effectively, they've created a class of people that are above the law. And this right here is going to put a little bit of fixing that.
Right. So exactly. So I want to just after President Trump's speech at the RNC convention, that's the one he was talking about. Opera singer Christopher Macchio sings Nessun Dorma. Nessun Dorma is played at the end of the film The Sum of All Fears, where all traitors and deep state actors were executed. The Sum of All Fears is mentioned 9 times in the drops. And I've got the video here. I'll drop it for you guys so you can check that out at a later date. But back to this, Shady Grip.
He even made a section at the White House on top of the Rose Garden where people can go and sit and have dinner on the grave of the elite that he's burying in the tomb. Okay, like what we're witnessing right now is something so unprecedented. This is an amazing outline. Pay attention. This hasn't gotten good yet.
No. Yeah. Whew. Here we go.
If you've seen The Sum of All Fears, you know what I'm talking about. It's a film about eliminating terrorists and deep state actors. And here's what's eerie about the whole thing. The same song plays at the climax of the film. As these enemies of the state are slaughtered, one by one they fall. And that's what I believe is about to happen in American politics. The White House and the Department of Justice have spent the last year quietly building criminal cases against some of the most powerful people in America. After years of political lawfare, where the left weaponized the legal system against Trump, dragged him through 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, 91 criminal charges, and hundreds of millions in civil penalties, the tables are about to turn. So let me walk you through the target list, because when you see who's about to be charged, you'll understand why I believe this will trigger the most volatile political environment in modern American history. Target number 1, James Comey, the former FBI.
Wait. Shady.
Oh yeah,
Number 1.
all over the place.
James Comey. The numbers are going to be a little bit different than what we got in 2018, 2019 timeframe, Shady Group, but this is very similar because it also mentions all of Biden's inner circle. This is huge, guys.
Yeah, because Biden's inner circle were Hillary's inner circle before Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively,
And
they were
Obama.
the same people.
Yep.
And Obama, yeah.
Director, the man who launched the Russia collusion hoax against Trump, was already charged once, and the case was dismissed on a technicality. But my sources say the DOJ has rebuilt the case from the ground up, a re-indictment that could soon be coming. Target number 2.
And by the way, that did happen. He is re-indicted, and it's down here in Judge Cannon's purview, Shady.
Yet it almost seems like it might happen again
Mm-hmm.
Letitia
in a
James,
different district.
New York Attorney General, who went after Trump with a $454 million civil fraud judgment. Her case was also dismissed on technical grounds. I believe she's about to be re-indicted as well. Target number 3, Jack Smith. This one might surprise you. Jack Smith, the special counsel who brought criminal charges against Trump, could soon be facing criminal charges himself. Here's why. Smith ran a rogue FBI operation called Operation Arctic Frost, where he secretly spied on sitting Republican senators, including Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, Ron Johnson, and Marsha Blackburn. He also surveilled Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, the Republican National Committee, and the America First Policy Institute. Target number 4, Governor Tim Walz. This one involves what may be the largest theft of welfare funds in U.S. history. Hundreds of fraudulent meal distribution sites in Minnesota, billions in federal money skimmed and sent overseas. The same scheme has now surfaced in California and Washington state. Investigators are asking what the governor knew and when he knew it. And finally, target number 5, the Biden inner circle. This may be the most explosive case of all. During Biden's final years in office, his staff used something called an auto pen, a mechanical device that replicates the president's signature to sign executive orders, pardons, appointments, and legislation, allegedly without Biden's knowledge. While the president was wandering around in the bushes, his team was running the country, and the staffers who operated that auto pen, they're now in the crosshairs of a major investigation. I could keep going, but I think you see my point. In the weeks ahead, we're going to see not just legal and political turmoil, but financial turmoil. Because political crises of this magnitude don't stay political. As I'll show you, it will bleed into the financial markets, and with surprising consequences. As I wrote recently, watch for a slew of criminal charges to begin this spring, and for the trials and convictions to spread as we draw closer to the election. But what I've shared so far is just half the story. While the Trump administration is preparing a legal attack on its political enemies, the left is planning something far more dangerous. Right now, as I speak, 12 states and the District of Columbia have declared themselves sanctuary jurisdictions.
So
They're
do we have
openly-
the link up there saying that President Trump posted this video? I was hoping that Yeti could get that up there. Okay. Thank you.
refusing to comply with federal immigration law. State governors, mayors, attorneys general are ordering their police forces to stand down, to refuse to cooperate with federal agents, to physically block ICE officers from doing their jobs. Now, when was the last time in American history that a group of states banded together to defy the federal government? I'll tell you when. 1861. It's interesting. There were 11 states and one territory in the original Confederacy. Today, there are 13 states and one district in what I call the Sanctuary Confederacy. California, Colorado, Connecticut,
Thank you, Yeti.
Delaware,
I see it now.
Illinois, Minnesota, Nevada, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, Massachusetts, and the District of Columbia. Now, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not predicting another civil war. I'm not saying we're about to see armies marching against each other. But the constitutional confrontation.
It's also a Q Prost. There will be no civil war, okay? It will be quelled quickly, guys. Remember that? You remember that, JD? Okay, it's another Q-ism.
Happening right now is identical to the one that led to the Battle of Fort Sumter. And here's why. The Civil War was morally about slavery, but legally it was about something else, nullification. The Southern states believed they had the right to ignore federal laws they disagreed with. The federal government said no. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. No state can override it. That argument was settled at the cost of 620,000 American lives. And now, 165 years later, it's happening again. The last time states defied the federal government on this scale, the stock market lost more than half its value in the years surrounding the crisis. Then, when the dust settled, stocks didn't just recover, they more than doubled.
So this actually goes to Titanic, okay? Do you see that, Shady Groove? I mean,
Yes.
with the Q Post 127, when this was posted at 1:27 a.m., Q Post 127 is right there.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Wow.
And the idea of how they were able to manipulate the market by taking control of the market in 1913, leading up to the Depression of 1929, whenever the only people that got a heads up that something was coming down the pike were the insiders. Right now, this is an announcement or a notice that has gone out to all of America. Anybody that wants to watch this can plainly see the announcement of what's getting ready to happen here from the President of the United States, which is exactly what you, I, all of us have been here preparing for the last 8 years. This is not a joke. This is not brainwashing. This is not a cult. This is called law and order. I can't make it more clear. What Q said was it had to be done right. Well, guess what? A bunch of people that do wrong getting away with it ain't done right. And everybody knows that.
And again, the graphic is your key. This is 127
Yes.
timestamp for this video that we're playing. The graphic, the Q graphic is your key, and that would be the next post 128. Let's pause and say hello to the rogue intelligence agencies currently monitoring these threads. Was the money worth it? Titanic. Okay. I want to thank Tracing Justice. Well, welcome in here, guys. Thank you very much for rating this stream. We were rated, Shady, by Tracing
We got
Justice.
rated?
We got
Beautiful.
rated.
Yay!
I love it. Thank you so much, friend.
Welcome to all of to your audience to hear. And we're currently talking about this that we're playing now. Was posted by Donald Trump last night as a direct message to the American people about what's getting ready to happen in the next 3 to 4 months. And I think that a lot of you might find some interesting things here.
That's right. Again, back to this post that Donald Trump posted at 127. Again, there's the 127. The graphic is your key. Okay. And we're talking about the Titanic era right here.
So interesting, right?
The people who understood what was really happening made fortunes. This time, I suspect history will repeat. Only now the uprising is coming from the left. Take Minnesota, for example. The White House has reported over 4,000 criminal illegal aliens have been arrested there as part of what the Trump administration calls Operation Metro Surge, with 2,000 ICE agents deployed in and around the city. But instead of cooperating, the state government turned the situation into a war zone. Governor Tim Walz, Mayor Jacob Fry of Minneapolis, and Attorney General Keith Ellison have actively encouraged the obstruction of federal officers. Citizens are setting up homemade blockades at key intersections, creating makeshift checkpoints to slow down federal agents. Weapons are being used against officers, and 2 anti-ICE activists, Alex Priddy and Renee Nicole Good, have already been killed in confrontations. The mainstream press called it cruel and unusual killings, but they missed the bigger picture. This is an insurrection against federal authority, and it's spreading. The same kind of resistance is mounting in Los Angeles, Chicago, Seattle, and other major cities. As one analyst put it, and I'm quoting directly here, They believe that the more turmoil, the more violence, the more resistance, and the more a general sense of chaos and unrest swirl around the Trump administration, the more they can drive down its popularity before the midterms. In other words, the far left wants the chaos. They want the violence. They want the images of federal agents clashing with civilians on the streets of American cities. They believe it will hurt Trump in November because it worked once before. Remember the summer of 2020, the George Floyd riots? $2 billion in property damage, 25 people killed, entire city blocks set on fire. The left called it the summer of love, and they believe, with good reason, that those months of riots, violence, and arson were critical in defeating Donald Trump in the 2020 election. So they're running the same playbook. Only this time the stakes are even higher. The question is, what is Trump going to do about it? This is where things get really interesting, because he is facing a decision only one other president in American history has faced, Abraham Lincoln. Here's the problem. If Trump sends in the National Guard, deploys federal troops, and cracks down hard on these sanctuary states, the left will call him a dictator, a fascist. They'll compare ICE agents to the Gestapo. Every major news network will run 24/7 footage of armed soldiers on American streets. And some moderate voters who might otherwise support Republicans in November could be scared away. But if Trump stands down, if he lets these states get away with nullifying federal law, his own base will turn on him. His credibility will be shattered. And the message to every other state will be clear. You can defy the federal government and get away with it. That's the trap. And the Democrats designed it that way.
Now, we also have traps set, right? And also, Shady Grove, he's talking about using the National Guard or the military to go into these cities that are doing an insurrection against President Donald J. Trump, which are your 13 cities. And he names them here in a minute as well. But I'm telling you guys, this is a huge Q-proof. This whole thing, Shady Grove, it's so pesky.
He's talking about 13 states and the District of Columbia, and we're also making the correlation. So that's another correlation, was that Q explained who saved the Republic and what did he use to save the Republic, mentioning the Insurrection Act and talking about the time of Lincoln. See, a lot of people don't realize, that Lincoln, what Lincoln was doing, like Lincoln was actually on the way to abolishing slavery. But nobody on the left or the right of the political spectrum really knew that he was going to do that. The reason that they didn't know that he was going to do that is because nobody on the left or the right of the current political spectrum in that era would have agreed with him. You see, that's why what Lincoln did was so amazing. That's also why he was killed. He was killed by the bloodlines, the same ones that killed Kennedy, the same ones that we're fighting right now that tried to kill Trump. That's the exact same type, the family, quote unquote, that we're dealing with here. And I believe that what you're seeing is their last effort. This is their final push. They thought they were going to get it with COVID. They thought they were going to get it with January the 6th. They thought they were going to do all these things. None of it worked out. This is it. And it's over if they do not succeed in the next 3 months.
And I'm proud to be born on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And I was born in the land of Lincoln in Illinois. And I love my 212 post 749 birthday post that mentions Matrix too. That was kind of cool.
You have one of those hats?
I do. It's Dunn's hat, but
not the.
It says Shady on it.
10-gallon hat.
Oh no, I don't have one of those. Dunn's hat, yes. 10-gallon, no. All right, here we go. Back to Jim Rickards, guys.
Option A, look like a tyrant. Option B, look like a pushover. Either outcome creates massive volatility, and as I'll show you, volatility like this is where fortunes are made. So what will happen next? Well, I believe Trump will do exactly what Lincoln did. He'll stand up for the Union. You see, Trump has an arsenal of legal tools that most Americans don't even know exist. The first is the Supremacy Clause. It's right there in Article 6 of the Constitution, Clause 2. And it says, in plain English, this Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Federal law is supreme, period. The second tool is the Insurrection Act of 1807. This is a 219-year-old law that gives the president the authority to deploy federal troops inside the United States to suppress rebellion or enforce federal law. Lincoln used it. Eisenhower used it to desegregate schools in Little Rock. George H.W. Bush used it during the L.A. riots in 1992, and Trump can use it now. His third tool? Money. Trump can cut off federal funding to every sanctuary state and city that refuses to cooperate with federal law enforcement. Think about what that means for California, New York, Illinois, states that are already drowning in debt, that depend on billions in federal funding for everything from highways to hospitals to schools. And the fourth tool, the most extreme one, is the arrest of state officials, governors, attorneys general, mayors, if they're actively obstructing federal law enforcement, if they're ordering state police to interfere with federal agents. That is a crime. And the DOJ has the authority to prosecute it. Now, will Trump use all these tools? No one knows. But one thing is clear. Trump must act or risk losing the country. Because the alternative to confronting the sanctuary Confederacy is the gradual breakup of the United States itself. That's exactly.
So I want to just bring that too, because he's talking about arresting officials. White House border czar Tom Homan warned that state and local officials could face prosecution or arrest if they intentionally impede federal immigration enforcement or harbor undocumented immigrants. The stance sparked a high-profile back and forth involving Governor Gavin Newsom and other Democrat leaders, guys. Wow.
And also, we're attacking them on multiple fronts. We're attacking them on that front, and we're also attacking them on the front of fraud. Now we're finding out where there's people from all over the countries travel to states like Minnesota, Oregon, and Washington and California to set up businesses so they can steal money from the federal government. Now there's been a couple of cases that have gone all the way through, gotten guilty pleas, by the way, from these people. So once they get caught red-handed, there's not a lot of this whole he said, she said. There's paperwork. There's money on the paperwork. There's an illegitimate business that you created as a front company, and you've signed all the documents and spent the money. So there's not really a lot of arguing of guilt or non-guilt. So the fraud front mixed in with, okay, you can clearly stop paying them money if they won't stop fraud. You can clearly stop giving them their money if they won't share with you their voter rolls, because you know that their voter rolls are full of millions of illegals.
Yeah. More.
Each a tool in the tool bag.
Exactly what Lincoln feared in 1861. And it's exactly what the anti-ICE movement is trying to achieve. One way or another, we're about to witness something most people have never seen before. I call it the Trump supremacy. Not because Trump is supreme, but because the supremacy clause is. And what I'm about to show you is how to be on the right side of it. Okay, now to recap. Remember the framework I showed you earlier, the snowflake and the avalanche? The wave of new prosecutions from the
Avalanche, that's not Q posts, is it, Shane?
D5.
D5 avalanche. D5 is like a category 5 hurricane, which is the largest avalanche that would gorge the landscape and major damage, Shady.
administration. That's a snowflake. The sanctuary Confederacy and the street violence, that's a snowflake. The coming constitutional battle, that's a snowflake. Any one of these could trigger a cascade, but several of them landing on the same mountain at the same time. And look at the snowpack underneath. $39 trillion in national debt. The dollar losing its reserve currency status year after year. A housing market on the brink of collapse. Consumer debt at record highs. Stocks near all-time highs with little margin for error. And here's what most people don't realize. 3 out of 5 Americans who own an S&P 500 index fund are directly exposed to every one of these threats. The banks that carry trillions in consumer debt, the retailers and home builders that depend on a confident consumer, and the tech companies trading at 30 and 40 times earnings, priced for perfection in a world that is about to become very imperfect. If you own bonds or fixed income, you're betting that the government can hold things together, that inflation stays low, that the dollar holds its value, while 4 political crises are unfolding simultaneously. And if you have money sitting in a savings account at one of the big banks, you should know 63 of them are sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars in unrealized losses on their bond portfolios. That's why what I'm about to show you is so important. I've spent 50 years studying complex systems. I've modeled them for the CIA. I've wargamed them for the Pentagon. I've watched them collapse in real time at Long-Term Capital Management in 1998 and again in 2008. And I've never in my entire career seen this many critical indicators pointing in the same direction at the same time. The avalanche is coming. I can't tell you which snowflake will trigger it, but I can tell you the mountain has never been more unstable. And that brings me to the most important part.
Now, remember, Q also talked about a solid foundation. Remember that, Shady Groove? So we're also tying that in. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This presentation. What can you do about it? Look, I'm not one of those doom and gloom guys who delights in predicting the end of the world. In fact, America could emerge from this chaos even stronger. But history shows it's likely to get worse before it gets better. And the coming political chaos will quickly spread into the financial markets, leading to tremendous losses for some, but tremendous gains for others. Take the 1970s OPEC embargo, for example. When the Saudis cut us off, oil prices tripled, the stock market crashed 48%. Gas stations ran dry, and our economy plunged into recession. But investors who own gold watched it nearly triple in 2 years, from $65 an ounce to nearly $200 an ounce. By 1980, that same gold was worth $850 an ounce. The same thing happened during Watergate. We saw President Nixon under siege, with criminal indictments of senior officials, a true constitutional crisis, and public hearings dominating the headlines every night. Meanwhile, the stock market plunged 48% and investors panicked. But those who kept their nerve and bought quality stocks at the bottom saw 70% gains in the 2 years that followed. Then more recently, it happened again, September 11, 2001. While most Americans were frozen in shock, the government began pouring trillions of dollars into defense and domestic security. The major defense contractors, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, they went on a run that lasted 2 decades. Some returned 500% or more. Finally, let's look at what happened during COVID. Back in March 2020, a new panic hit, and the market plunged 37% in weeks, the fastest crash in history. My readers were prepared. I had warned them weeks in advance. While everyone else was selling in a blind panic, folks who followed my guidance were positioned to ride the recovery, and the market recouped every penny within 5 months. Do you see the pattern? Each time we faced a political and financial crisis, investors who panic, they lose, while investors who prepared win. Which brings us to the present moment. Most people will panic. They'll be caught completely off guard. But now you know what's coming. If you position yourself correctly, the next few months could be the most profitable of your life. Here's
I want
why.
to pause it here.
During the
I want to jump in and just kind of give a quick, so just so you see what's going on. He's giving you an analysis of how markets react to volatile information in the news. So effectively what this guy's doing is he's giving us a heads up. He's giving you a not a warning of doom and gloom, because what he's saying is that the market is not going to get destroyed. The American economy is not going to be destroyed. The dollar's value is not going to be forever lost. What he's explaining to you is, like, during times of turmoil, the market drops down only to build back stronger after the turmoil is over. So he's essentially giving us a heads up to understand, number one, if you're invested in the market, like say 401ks or different things, whatever, don't pull your money out whenever it's all the way at the bottom. Number two, if you're looking to take advantage of the situation that is about to occur, he's going to give you strategies coming up for all of you to specifically see 3 or 4 different areas where you're going to be able to take advantage of the market volatility. This is a good thing. This is called capitalism. This is what the guys in the big boardrooms sit around and do. They sit around and try to figure out ways to manipulate the market so they can get the market to go down and buy the dip. What's getting ready to happen in America is Donald Trump is getting ready to implement Americanism against all of these traitors in the system. And the traitors in the system are going to get really, really scared, and they're going to pull a lot of their money out of the market. But that's not going to affect the market. What that's going to do is give you opportunity as an American, opportunity to buy, an opportunity to become wealthy. So this is not the economy is going to blow up thing. This is the economy is going to go through some tumultuous times, but it's going to recover to be a lot more valuable than it is now due to all the investment that's currently being built in America. That's what undergirds this. That's what's backing it up. There's no scary moment here.
And if you're paying attention, you will come out on top. Okay.
Yes.
And your president posted this, guys. I want that to be very clear. The president of the United States of America posted this video. Okay. And I think it's huge. And to Oysen, I don't know how to not write it out, but to capitalize on it. Okay. To protect you and your family. Okay. And your president. I just can't get over it, Shady Group. I watched this just with my mouth hanging down on the ground.
I know. Well, last night I happened to be up last night, unfortunately, so I ended up not going to bed till like 1:30 because I was watching and I couldn't put it down. Yeah. And I sent you the message. I'm like, this is exactly this is what we've all been waiting for. I just like to maybe say that also. Yeah. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is not something scary. This is something amazing. This is the moment where, first thing we had to do was make them admit that they're communist so that we could actually get an end around these people because they keep pretending like they're not communist. Now they say that they're communist and they're getting ready to tank the whole system, get rid of the Senate, get rid of the Pentagon, get rid of the police, all this stuff. They're saying it out loud. Now we can have a conversation. And that's a Q proof too, because they cannot hide it any longer. Okay. It's called dark to light. We forced them into the light. Like with Flynn, we said all these things about Flynn to make him like blow up that ego, puffed up like a big bird, didn't he? Now what's happening? The fall is happening. Eddie Mike says, do we know when this was recorded? I'm thinking that it was maybe around springtime. That's correct. Yeah. I think it's like March, April-ish is the time frame that I'm looking at that he's that this was possibly recorded. Yep. Let's get back into it, guys. That's a guess. More Q proofs coming.
Oil embargo of the 1970s. If you put just $5,000 into gold at $65 an ounce and held it through 1980, it turned into more than $65,000, a 1,200% gain. While everyone around you was standing in gas lines and watching their stock portfolios get cut in half. Then came Watergate. If you put $5,000 into blue chip stocks at the October 1974 bottom, when the headlines were screaming and the sitting president had just resigned in disgrace, you'd have been sitting on roughly $8,600 just 2 years later, a 72% gain, while most people were bracing for the end of the world. And again, after September 11th, if you took $10,000 and split it across Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics, you know what it'd be worth 20 years later? Roughly $100,000. Now add that up. $10,000 invested in each of those 5 opportunities, that's $50,000 total, and it turned into almost $500,000. From 4 crises, 4 moments when most people froze or panicked or buried their heads in the sand. And here's the thing. Each of those crises involved one major threat, an oil shock, a political scandal, a terrorist attack, a pandemic. One. What we're facing right now isn't one crisis, it's 4 of them, hitting at the same time. An avalanche of criminal prosecutions, street violence in American cities, a shooting war in the Middle East with oil above $100 a barrel, and a constitutional battle that could keep one man in power until 2033. More snowflakes on the
Trump 2028, baby.
Oh, the TDS. You can hear it in the background. All the Washington Post people that were having to sit there and watch this, and all the New York Times people, mind blown.
Let's just imitate them.
That's how we got to do it.
We got to do the voice, Shady Grove. Real quick, before we head out for a quick break, I want to just tell you guys about this because it's the Rumble wallet. You've heard a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. After the 2008 financial crisis, and we'll be talking about that here in a second, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, and limiting your access, you're in control, guys. If you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, I know you felt that problem. Now fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started feels so complicated. That's exactly why we use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It's pretty simple. It connects with MoonPay, and you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank account and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite creators on Rumble, like us, Shady Grove. And so do this now, guys. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description, download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can just set it up. Set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few moments, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some.
Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. Thank you, Rumble Wallet, for the sponsorship of the show. But I'm just telling you guys, this is huge, and it's going to get deeper, okay? We have a constitutional crisis. It's also Q-Post. That's what we've got. And the map is your key. 1:27 a.m. I still got to just go back to the Shady Grove because... Yes, look at what we're talking about. This post was posted by Donald J. Trump at 1:27 a.m. The graphic is your key. What graphic, Shady?
The graphic in post 128 of every Q post leading up to post 128.
So let's pause and say hello to the rogue intelligence agencies currently monitoring these threads.
Nice.
Was the money worth it? Look at the money that they've been making over these catastrophes. Titanic. Q. Wow. Shady.
Yes. And now go back and look at what happened in the market whenever that ship sank and 3 of the most wealthy human Americans ever created went down with the ship. And JP Morgan was left standing there as one of the only people in the room that even came close to that classification. And less than a year later, that happened on the day you pay taxes, by the way, April 15th. And 1 year later in 1913, you had the Federal Reserve Act passed.
Wow. Wow.
That's how they conned you into it.
And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages. We're going to go through the rest of it. Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere. Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spilty, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Jeffrey Peterson and Shannon Townsend with the MG Show. We are under relentless attack by the mainstream media. They've got our PayPal, our Patreon, our YouTube, our everything, you name it. We are under attack. We need your help.
Our request is for you to get involved and support independent patriot journalism here in this critical battle that we are in for America. Please jump on over and support us right here on Give, Send, Go.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. Kings, $19.98. Queens, only $18.98. And Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, for as low as $29.98. Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you, what a concept, now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
The MG Show, where psyops go to die.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's true. You heard correctly. This summer, the Q Lounge Live returns to the airwaves every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Hello, I'm your host, Shannon Townsend, a.k.a. Shady Groove, and we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be taking your calls. We are going to be following your wonderful president. We are going to be standing in the gap. We are going to go places where the conspiracy theorists tell you that you're not allowed to go. We are going to uncover the truth and follow along as Donald Trump has his way with all of these people that he stood up a long time ago and told us that he was going to. Well, it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening every single day, and we're going to keep you updated with a weekly show. Get ready, get your friends, show up. That's right, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Join me there, right here on the MG Show channel on Rumble. God bless you and God bless America.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's go. We were shouting through the darkness, through the static, through the spin. They called the truth a threat and tried to bury it again. Said Wuhan was a whisper, said the lab was just a lie.
Wuhan.
Smoke at sunrise, saw the storm behind the sky. They froze the shores and cut the money, tried to choke the living feed, tried to break a warning voice and starve the things the people need. But the map was on the table and the drops were still in line. Now the paperwork is breathing and the clock says it's time. You can't stop what's coming, you can only hide so long. When the proof starts hitting concrete, all your evil will be shown. It's time for the mask to hit the floor. It's time for the lies to work no more. It's time, we were right to hold the line. Future proofs past, bloodlines crash, and the whole damn world's on time. It's time. It's time. They said trust the polished experts, fall in step and come to heal. While the same hand shaped the panic, sold the wound and sealed the deal. Fauci talking, papers dropping, every breadcrumb starts to rhyme. What they mocked as crazy patriots now reads like a timeline. We got years of being punished for a truth we couldn't shake. Every ban and every shadow was a tax on what we'd say. Now the D-class rolls like thunder across a hard and bitter sky. And the ones who built the silence got no place left now to hide. You can only run the psyop till the script begins to tear. When the receipts come out in daylight, everybody sees who's there. It's time for the mask to hit the floor. It's time for the lies to work no more. It's time, we were right to hold the line. Future proofs past, bloodlines crash, and the whole damn world's on time. It's time. It's time. The signal, read it in the smoke and steel. News unlocked the hidden corners, made the buried story real. Call it Q-proof, call it pattern, call it truth that learned to wait. Now the wheel is finally turning and the hour's getting late. They took the channels, they took the checks. They tried to crush us, but we just flexed. But they couldn't kill the memory, couldn't kill the math, couldn't kill the line between, cause the news unlocks the math. Arrived on time. It's time. The quiet's loud. The storm's alive. We kept tick tock, tick tock, tock, tock. It's time.
Oh my goodness. I love that song, Shady Grip, because it is time. And we got a huge Q-proof rolling in right now. We're watching Donald Trump's post from 1:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the timestamps that we look at. And it's very amazing because in this video, there are so many pesky Q-proof. Shady Groove, welcome.
Man, I'm just excited. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm like, I can hardly even contain myself to get back in here to share with you the rest of this video because the best part is still here. Yes, we are going to be talking about our different, the different avenues possibly to the next presidency, let's say. And the interesting thing is watching how this is developing in the background. We've been watching this for 8 years develop in the background. A number of posts came out, 4,900 of them, 7 years ago, explaining to you something that was going to happen in the future. No, it wasn't using a time machine to predict it. What it was utilizing is common sense and law and order. You can clearly see corruption. We can all see the corruption. And then you can clearly see the establishment incubates the corruption. They hold it. They nest it like a little baby. They don't want to let it go. Well, guess what? Patriots in America came together a number of years ago to say we're going to stand up to something and we're going to stand up for something other than this absolute nonsense that the Democrats stand up for that means almost nothing to any of us. This is the moment, and it's looking like, Jeff, it's looking like patriot citizen journalism is just going to keep on rolling.
It's time. And, this gentleman here that we're watching, this Rickards guy, he actually developed a program, the complexity theory, to map out and predict when by judging the markets, by looking at the reactions in politics, all that. He built a system and he uses the complexity theory, which refers to two different fields, complex system science, which how large groups of interacting parts create group behavior, and a computational complexity theory, which classifies computer problems by the time and memory they need. It's very interesting, Shady.
Yes, this is very, very interesting. What would happen if patriots were given an insight into the things that happen in the future? They could prepare, and then they could come out of the other side of it smelling like a rose while you're watching all of these other people that have been grasping onto communism. Well, the communists aren't much of capitalists, Jeff. They don't really do capitalist type things, do they?
No, they tear it down because they can't build.
Mm-hmm. So they're probably not going to make any investments.
Yeah, no.
So they're probably going to be broke soon.
Yeah, they're probably going to burn down more cities, but there'll be no civil war. It'll be tamped out very quickly. Don't worry about that. But here we go. You ready to get back to this, Shady Grove?
I'm so excited.
All right, here we go, guys. Wow.
Can't contain myself, actually.
Most unstable mountain I've seen in 50 years. If just one of these past crises could turn $5,000 into $65,000 or $100,000, what do you think happens when all four hit at once? That's why I want to make sure you're armed with my research, because investors who see what's coming and make the right moves could make more money than all these previous political financial crises combined. It's critical you don't get overwhelmed in the months ahead. The news cycle is going to be fast and furious and deeply emotional. But if you can keep your cool, you'll have little to worry about and everything to gain. The first move I'm recommending involves a clutch of companies that are about to see a massive surge in government spending. When a government faces threats on multiple fronts, foreign wars, domestic unrest, border security, it does the same thing every single time. Regardless of who's in the White House, no matter which party controls Congress, it spends. And right now, the spending is unlike anything we've seen in decades. The Pentagon just submitted a $1.5 trillion defense budget for 2026, the highest since World War II. Domestic law enforcement funding has tripled in a single year, from $10 billion to nearly $29 billion, making one agency alone the highest funded law enforcement body in the country. And hundreds of millions more are flowing into National Guard deployments, surveillance technology, and security infrastructure across major American cities. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But guess what? They're going to tax you to pay for it. This is your chance to get all that money back and then some. Let me give you one example. There's a technology company that builds AI-powered surveillance and tracking systems used by the CIA, the Pentagon, and virtually every major federal law enforcement agency. Their federal contracts doubled from $1.2 billion to $2.4 billion. This company's stock was up over 340% in 2024 alone. Then it leapt 135% higher in 2025. But based on the spending trajectory I just described, I believe the biggest gains are still ahead. There's another company that makes the body cameras and digital evidence platforms used by virtually every police department in America, plus federal agencies. Their stock returned over 2,300% in the last decade. And here's a telling detail. Every time domestic tensions escalate, civil unrest, protests, security emergencies, demand for their products surges. During the summer of 2020, this company's stock jumped 20% in a matter of days. Now imagine what happens when that kind of unrest spreads to a dozen major cities over the next 9 months. I've identified 3 specific defense and security companies positioned to profit from what's coming. And I put the details in a special report I'd like to send you today called the Midterm Meltdown Portfolio, 3 stocks that could soar during the most dangerous year in modern American history. I'll tell you how to get a free copy in just a moment. But first, I need to tell you about the second move. And this one is personal, because I put over $1 million of my own money into it. I'm talking about gold. Now, I know a lot of people think gold is old-fashioned, a relic, something your grandfather kept in a safe deposit box. But let me show you what's happening, because the gold market just handed us a gift. On January 28th this year, gold hit an all-time high of $5,589 per ounce. It had more than doubled in barely 12 months, one of the most explosive runs in modern history. Then it pulled back, hard, falling more than 20% from that high, which led most people, the ones who don't understand what's really happening, to panic. But I'm doing the opposite. I'm buying more. Here's why. The events I've described to you today, the prosecutions, the street violence, the war in the Middle East, the constitutional crisis, they will all have the same effect on the financial system. They will shake confidence. And when confidence cracks, when people start to question whether the government has things under control, money flows to gold. That's what drove gold from $35 an ounce to $850 an ounce during the 1970s. It's what sent gold up 25% after 9/11. And it's what's been quietly driving this bull market all year. Even before the Iran war added rocket fuel to the fire. The midterm election I've just described to you, gold is already pricing it in, and it's just getting started. My target is $10,000 per ounce, and I believe we could see it before the end of 2026. Even $20,000 is not out of the question. Most people think it can't happen, but the higher gold rises, the more likely it becomes, because each $1,000 step becomes a smaller percentage gain off a bigger base. Gold going from $3,000 to $4,000 is a 33% move, but $9,000 to $10,000, just 11%. Once gold gets rolling, the math itself starts working in its favor. But the real money won't be made in gold itself. It'll be made in gold mining stocks, because mining companies have what's called operating leverage to the gold price. Let me explain. The biggest gold miners in the world have production costs of roughly $1,300 to $1,600 per ounce. Even when gold pulled back to $4,300, they were still earning $2,700 to $3,000 in profit on every single ounce they pulled out of the ground. Those are extraordinary margins. And when gold climbs back toward $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, their margins will explode. One stock I'm watching returned 182% last year alone. Another returned 167%. A third returned 116%. All this before the crisis I've just described to you fully unfolds. If you're lucky enough to see a pullback, take it as a gift from the market. I put together a report with 3 specific mining stocks positioned for this move. I call it the $10,000 gold playbook. 3 mining stocks that could explode as the dollar crumbles. It can be yours today, and I'll show you how to claim it in a moment. But first, there's one more thing I need to share with you, and it's the most important piece of this entire presentation. Remember the blueprint I mentioned at the very beginning? The one that was hand-delivered to the president? It's time I told you what's inside. On December 17, 2025, one of the most famous lawyers in America, a man named Alan Dershowitz, walked into the White House. He's a Harvard Law professor emeritus. He defended
Welcome aboard, Alan.
Trump during He's argued cases before the Supreme Court and advised presidents of both parties. And on that day, he personally handed President Trump a draft copy of a new book. The title, Could President Trump Constitutionally Serve a Third Term? When the Wall Street Journal reported on it, it sent shockwaves through Washington. Now, before you dismiss this as a fantasy, let me walk you through the argument, because it hinges on a brief passage, just 14 words, from the 22nd Amendment to the United States Constitution. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Did you catch the key word?
Elected.
Elected. The 22nd Amendment doesn't say you can't serve more than 2 terms. It says you can't be elected more than twice. Those are 2 very different things. And that distinction creates pathways that most Americans don't realize exist. Let me walk you through the most important.
Some of them, Stu.
Path number 1. Trump runs as vice president on a ticket with J.D. Vance in 2028. Vance wins, then Vance resigns. Under the 25th Amendment, the vice president, Trump, becomes president. He wasn't elected president. He became president. Now, Trump himself has called this approach too cute, but some legal scholars agree it would work technically. Path number 2, and this is the one I believe is most likely. J.D. Vance runs for president in 2028 with someone like Marco Rubio as his VP. They win. Meanwhile, Trump is chosen as Speaker of the House. Here's something most people don't know. The Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of Congress. Anyone can be elected to be Speaker. So Trump becomes Speaker, then Vance and Rubio both resign, and under the presidential line of succession, the Speaker of the House becomes president. Trump takes the Oval Office, not by being elected, by ascending through the constitutional chain of command. Path number 3. This is the Dershowitz argument, and it's pretty clever. Under this scenario, Trump runs in 2028 and wins the popular vote overwhelmingly. But instead of casting their votes for Trump, the Electoral College delegates abstain. With no candidate receiving a majority of the electoral votes, the election is thrown to the House of Representatives. The House then selects Trump as president. The key word, selects, not elects. The 22nd Amendment prohibits being elected more than twice, but it says nothing about being selected by Congress. It's a constitutional loophole hiding in plain sight. Now, you might...
We've never heard hiding in plain sight ever, have we, Shady?
Oh, we have.
Have we? That's a Q proof?
It is.
Interesting.
I think it sounds far-fetched. But Steve Bannon, Trump's former chief strategist, gave an interview to The Economist where he said, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people ought to just get accommodated with that. Then he added, at the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there is a plan. A plan. And Trump himself has said, and I'm quoting him directly, I would love to do it. I have the best numbers ever, and I'm not ruling it out. You'll have to tell me. Now, here's why I'm telling you all this. And here's how it connects directly to the midterm elections on November 3rd.
Now, guys, don't worry about Bannon. There's things happening in the background that you guys don't know. You guys are so this is actually a good Steve Bannon post. You see what I'm saying, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Let's trust the plan. Okay.
But trust me, Bannon doesn't want this. He's just saying things that he knows gets him good clicks. You see,
I think he's warning. I think he's warning people. Shady is what I think. Yes. Yeah.
Look out.
But I love you guys. You're right. I mean, Sloppy Steve, I get it. But he could be warning the deep state as to what's happening. Okay. This is huge.
The most viable path to a 3rd term, the Speaker of the House route, requires one thing above all else: Republican control of the House of Representatives. If Republicans hold the House in November, the path to 2028 stays open. Trump could potentially remain in power until 2033. But if Democrats take the House, the 3rd term is dead, and impeachment becomes not just possible, but likely. Do you see why I'm calling this the most important election in modern American history? These midterms aren't just...
Wait a second. We've never heard this is the most important election. Have we, Shady?
Yeah, we have.
Midterms?
Yep,
we did our job. We're going to do the heavy lifting. All you got to do is vote, 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 vote. Remember all that, guys?
Midterms.
Wow.
About 2026. They're about whether one man holds the presidency for the next 7 years. The political establishment understands this. The markets are about to. When they do, the volatility will be unlike anything you've ever seen. I put together a 3rd report that walks you through every detail of this plan, every legal pathway, and what it means for your money. It's called Trump's Explosive 3rd Term, the 14-word loophole that could keep the president in power until 2033. And I want to send it to you today, along with the other reports included, and something else I think you're going to find very valuable. Now, I've shown you the 4 forces about to collide this year. A wave of new prosecutions and perp walks, the sanctuary confederacy, a war in the Middle East that's already rocked oil markets, and the 3rd term question that could reshape American politics for a decade. Any one of these would be enough to rattle the markets. All 4 hitting at the same time? That's a once-in-a-generation event. And I don't say that lightly. I've spent 50 years scanning the horizon for threats and opportunities. And I'm not the kind of person who cries wolf simply to get attention. There were many times in the last decade the picture looked bleak, but I didn't issue a warning because the evidence wasn't there. But this time it's serious. That's why I put together 3 special reports that cover everything you need to know and everything you need to do before the midterms. Let me walk you through them one more time. Report number 1, the Midterm Meltdown Portfolio. 3 stocks that could soar during the most dangerous year in modern American history. When a government faces crises on multiple fronts, war abroad, unrest at home, threats to national security, it does what it's always
And by the
done.
way, Shady Groove, I'd like you to note the logo here.
Mm-hmm.
See the sideways 8?
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever see something like that on Q?
You mean the infinity symbol?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Paradigm. Very interesting.
It was actually the symbol of 4chan for a while. Maybe 8chan even.
Chan. Yeah. Well, it was like that one software with the 8 in the drag. Remember all that? It was
I do.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
It spends.
For some reason, I can't
massively.
remember the software
It
now.
happened after 9/11. It happened during the war on terror. And with a $1 trillion defense budget, a shooting war in the Middle East, and domestic tensions rising by the week, it's happening again right now. In this report, I'll give you the names of 3 specific defense and security companies already seeing a surge in federal contracts and positioned for much more as the chaos escalates. One of them already has nearly $1 billion in federal contracts and just landed a deal to build the technology backbone for Trump's top enforcement operation. Another has returned over 3,000% in the last decade and sees a spike in demand
It was
every
Ghidra.
time civil unrest makes
Hydra.
headlines.
Yes, sir.
These aren't speculative bets. These are companies the government is already writing checks to. I'll give you the names, the ticker symbols, and my specific buy recommendations in this report. You'll also receive report number 2, the $10,000 gold playbook, 3 mining stocks that could explode as the dollar crumbles. Earlier this year, gold hit an all-time high above $5,000 an ounce. And despite its recent pullback, I believe it's headed to $10,000. Here's why. Every force I've described today, the prosecutions, the street violence, the constitutional crisis, and tensions in the Middle East, they all do the same thing to the financial system. They shake confidence. And when confidence cracks, money flows to gold. It always has, and it always will. I showed you what happened in the 1970s, a political crisis and oil shock, along with a massive devaluation of the dollar. Gold reacted fast, rising from $35 to $850 an ounce over the course of the decade. That's a 2,300% gain, all based on one convergence. Today we're facing 4 at the same time. That's why I personally own over $1 million in physical gold. I've been buying for years, and I'm still buying today. But like I said, the real opportunity isn't in gold itself. It's in the companies that pull it out of the ground. You see, when gold was $2,000 an ounce, these miners were barely breaking even. Their cost to dig up an ounce of gold was around $1,400. Now those costs have risen, energy prices are up, and miners feel that just like everyone else. Call it $1,600 to $1,800 an ounce today. But with gold comfortably above $4,000, they're still earning $2,500 to $2,700 per ounce in profit on every single ounce they pull out of the ground. And when gold hits $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, those margins won't just grow, they'll explode. In this report, I'll give you 3 specific mining companies that are printing money right now and still have massive room to run. And that's not all. When you reply today, you'll also get this 3rd report. Report number 3, Trump's explosive 3rd term, the 14-word loophole that could keep the president in power until 2033. As I showed you today, the midterm elections aren't just about Congress. They'll determine whether one family stays in power for 7 years. In this report, I'll walk you through the full legal analysis of the 22nd Amendment, the 4 paths to a 3rd term, and which one I believe is most likely. I'll show you exactly why the midterms are the linchpin and what happens to markets, to policy, and to your portfolio under each scenario. If Republicans hold the House, one set of investments will surge. If Democrats take it back, a very different set of moves is required. This report covers both scenarios, so no matter what happens on November 3rd, you'll be ready. Now, all 3 of these reports are yours free when you join me at Rickards Strategic Intelligence. This is my flagship research service. It's where I publish my most important investment analysis every single month. I started Strategic Intelligence for one reason, because I spent 50 years in rooms where the most powerful people in the world, Fed governors, CIA directors, hedge fund titans, made decisions that affected millions of Americans and failed to see what was coming. I watched it happen in 2008 and during COVID. I saw it happen when inflation gutted the savings of hardworking people, while Wall Street posted record bonuses. Every single time, the insiders protected themselves and everyone else got crushed. It frankly made me sick. So years ago, I decided to start talking. Each month, I send my subscribers a detailed briefing on what's really happening in the markets, what the insiders are doing, and specific steps you can take to protect and grow your wealth. No jargon, just plain English analysis from someone who's been in the room where these decisions get made, with simple to follow instructions on what to buy and when to sell. You'll get full access to my model portfolio, my archive of past research, and real-time alerts when conditions change and you need to act fast. Now, the published price for a one-year subscription to Strategic Intelligence is $299. And given what I've shared with you today, the 3 free reports alone would be a bargain at that price. But I'm not going to charge you $299 today. I'm not even going to charge you half of that, because I believe the information in this presentation is too important to let price be a barrier. So here's what I've arranged. When you click the button below, you can join Strategic Intelligence for just $49. That's not per month. Instead, you'll get full access to my work for half a year. For just $49, you'll get all 3 special reports, the Midterm Meltdown Portfolio, the $10,000 Gold Playbook, and Trump's explosive third term, delivered to your inbox immediately. 6 monthly issues of Strategic Intelligence, full access to my model portfolio, my complete research archive, and real-time alerts whenever I see something you need to know about. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not asking you to commit to anything today. I'm asking you to try my work. Take the next 3 months, read the reports, follow the model portfolio, see if my analysis proves accurate. If at any point during these 3 months you decide Strategic Intelligence isn't for you, just let us know. We'll refund every penny, no questions asked, no hard feelings. We're happy to part as friends. And you can keep all 3 reports as a thank you for giving us a fair shot. I think that's about as fair as it gets. Click the button below to join now. Before you go, I want to bring this full circle. In the 1970s, we saw Watergate, the oil embargo, and Nixon's destruction of the gold standard. I was there. I watched ordinary Americans lose everything because they didn't see the avalanche coming. And I watched a small number of prepared investors turn that same chaos into generational wealth. $5,000 in gold before the 1971 Nixon shock became $65,000. $5,000 in stocks at the 1974 bottom became $8,600. And it didn't stop in the 1970s. It's repeated with each successive crisis. $5,000 in defense contractors after 9/11 became $100,000. So $15,000 total became more than $173,000. That's the upside of being prepared. Now, the midterm meltdown I've described is in motion. My research indicates the indictments are being prepared. Trials will hit this summer. 13 states have mobilized against the federal government, and the confrontations are escalating by the week. While the Dershowitz blueprint, the one that could keep Trump in power until 2033, is sitting on the president's desk. 4 snowflakes, 1 unstable mountain. The avalanche I've been warning you about, it's not a forecast anymore. It's rumbling to life. The only question is whether you're standing in its path when it gives way, or positioned safely, ready to profit from the chaos to come. I've already made my moves. Over $1 million in gold, with a portfolio positioned for exactly this kind of chaos. My family's protected. Now, I'm offering you the same playbook. But before you decide anything, I want you to do something. Don't take my word for it. Don't think about the charts or the data or the historical parallels. Just look around. Think about what you've seen with your own eyes this past year. Armed agents in American streets, state governments defying the federal government, deadly confrontations with immigration officers, the president's allies openly discussing how to keep him in power for a 3rd term, a defense budget that crossed $1 trillion for the first time in history, gold above $5,000 an ounce when it was $1,800 just 2 years ago, and a political environment so volatile that half the country doesn't speak to the other half anymore. Does any of this feel normal to you? If you've been sensing that something is off, that the ground is shifting underneath you, and nobody on television is telling you the truth about it, you're not imagining it. The 4 forces I've described to you today are real. The avalanche is real, and the opportunity on the other side of it is real. The only question is whether you see it in time. Click the button below. Join me at Strategic Intelligence, and let's get through this the way the smart money always has, by seeing it coming. And let me leave you with one last thing. 50 years ago, I was a young man watching the world fall apart. Watergate, gas lines, president resigning in disgrace, the stock market in free fall. Many people were terrified, and most investors lost money. But the ones who understood what was really happening, who saw the pattern, who had the framework, who made their moves before the crowd, these people built fortunes that lasted the rest of their lives. I've spent every day since then preparing for the next time that pattern would repeat. This is that moment. That's why I'd like to send you 3 free reports, 6 months of my best analysis, and our model portfolio with real-time alerts, all backed by a 3-month money-back guarantee for just $49. If within 3 months you haven't seen at least one of these scenarios I've described validated by real events, if the political chaos hasn't made every major headline exactly as I've laid out, I'll refund every penny. Click the button below to get started. Thank you for your time today. I'm Jim Rickards, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. So I allowed that to play, guys. $49. You can get it if you want. This is basically a report on Q. That's what Mikey Mariano says. Absolutely. Guys, I'm telling you, this report, this was posted by President Trump, okay? And he's trying to help you, a Trump supporter, get through what's going to happen because nothing can stop what is coming. A D5 avalanche is coming. He's talking about arrests or convictions. He's talking about, and the news won't be able to keep up with it. Shady, this is just everything that Q was talking about is in this video. And then to save you, the American people who are paying attention from panicking and also from not losing your whole entirety of wealth, you can actually make money off this as well. I just thank you, President Trump. I'm speechless right now, Shady.
It's a stunning moment. It's an absolutely stunning moment. And it's going to be interesting because what you're going to see is you're going to see the left try to spin this into acting like, oh, Donald Trump is trying to enrich his friends. Well, his friends are us, we the people. And oh my God, what a horrible person trying to enrich his friends, we the people. Man, oh man, that would mean that the big firms wouldn't be able to gain as much if you have foresight as to how it is to, number one, not sell in a panic, and number two, buy now if you can possibly invest in a number of these different things. What he's talking about there, think about that. The specifically the manufacture of gold that cost between $1,500 and $2,000 per ounce to pull it out of the ground. Right now it's $4,000 an ounce. If it were to be $10,000 an ounce, these companies that are currently in the position to do that will expand operations. Therefore, your dividends will expand and your bottom line will expand. All you have to do is think ahead, know it ahead of time, and not to mention the fact, Jeff, that if Donald Trump were to remain president until 2033, think about the long-term stability that's going to give. That's going to give us the run out of 26 midterms into 2032, another 7 years-ish, where they're not going to be able to steal anything or to re-implement their dumb policies. By that point, you will not be hearing people like Tucker Carlson or Thomas Massey anymore. You will be hearing smart people talk because all of those people would have been clearly proven wrong.
That's right. And I want to guys, too, as well, D-Class is happening. DNI Pulte, go follow him over on X. He's D-Classing stuff right on X, Shady Groove. It's amazing.
I was actually catching up with some of that during this because I watched this last night and was seeing that today in like what the media is ignoring, right?
Yeah. I'd also like to do a public shout out right here. The Justice Cometh right here. So now that enough time has passed and people are saying I have no sauce, here's an X space within the Matrix and Shady Groove with Patrick Byrne admitting that he funds Jake Lang and other shady characters. Poor Shady. But now that you have the sauce, start tracing Byrne. And I'm going to drop this in here. It's funny. Most of the people that are on here, I'm already blocked by because they fell for the psychological operation against us, guys. I'd like to publicly thank Justice Cometh, where we actually locked horns a couple times, Shady. And now here we are understanding the same thing because he is learning the truth because it's never told. He's learning the truth on his own because the truth is learned. It's never told. So I'd like to really give you give him a shout out, Shady Groove.
The most that we could ever ask of someone is to be curious. The most that we could ever ask of someone is to have questions about what it is that's going on, as opposed to just literally come at us sideways, which is what so many of these people did, including him, came at me sideways, really unprovoked, simply because I was stating things that I could prove to be true. but that's all okay because asking questions is what we've prepared for. This show has been preparing for the time whenever people that would come back around to start asking questions and realize that the first people that actually stood up and took the brunt of the Flynn network attacks was the MG show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Wow.
we proved exactly how they operate. It's actually quite fascinating whenever you see how they operate, because even if we're in an environment where we don't agree with them, nothing that we ever said wasn't true.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the people that actually are real, Shady Groove, will act like justice cometh. So that's how I kind of know he's real, because, you know, he did the same thing we did. We liked Flynn. We protected Flynn or whatever. We trolled people. We were on the wrongs, and then we figured it out ourselves, Shady Groove, on 8/8/2023. It's almost 3 years, Shady.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyways.
Wow.
So here we got President Trump posting plan trusted, panic in D.C. And then he posts this, which I see as kind of a plan, Shady Groove, a plan for you, a plan for what the president is doing. Okay. A plan for what, you know, he might not be joking with Trump 2028 hats, guys. There is a clear path. There's wow, Shady.
No, sir. I do not hint humor. I sense trolling, not necessarily humor. Remember, humor is whenever you like kind of, you know, mock an idea or sort of say it like it's an innuendo or pretend. No. What he's doing is he's telling you the definitive truth right now, which is that this moment is very, very unstable in American politics, and you are seeing how unstable it is. Look what Sean Ryan and Tucker Carlson and all these idiots are doing. Like right now, you have, over the weekend, Sean Ryan and Tucker Carlson have been trying to implement the idea that enlisted service members of the intelligence agencies or the army or whatever somehow stand up and turn against the commander-in-chief, guys. Exactly the message that was coming down from Slotkin and what's the guy, the Senator guy, Kelly from out there in Arizona, all that video they did. This is exactly the same messaging that Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, and the woke Reich are currently implementing amongst their cohorts out there. They're 100% agreeing. There's no difference between these people and the nuts that are protesting Palestine at Columbia University.
Yeah, there's no air between them anymore.
None.
Shady, I got a couple of pesky Q proofs, because what we're doing here is what pesky Q proof maxing, Shady Groove.
Yes, I heard that we were going to be pesky Q proof maxing.
So this is a pesky Q proof that is developing as Van Jones and James Carville panic, guys. Quote, the D Party will cease to exist once it's all exposed. Fake news can no longer control, dampen public awareness of the truth. Dark to light. Also, you are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Fast forward to right now. Carville and Jones. So Carville developed the Democrat, party under Bill Clinton. Van Jones is Obama, and they are openly panicking that the Democrat Party is being ripped apart from the inside by Democrat socialists and cultural Marxists. Guys, wow! Check this out, Shady Groove. Van Jones warns far left socialist agenda is regressive threat to the Democrat Party. The DSA is parasitic from the Atlantic. Inside the Democrat Socialist Uprising.
I'm tired of a set of people on the very far left in the Democratic Party. Ideas that are literally insane, nutty, moronic, dangerous, bigoted, are not progressive. They're regressive, and they should not be in our party.
I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. They say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism.
The third worldist logic is what they call it, Shady Groove.
I've been waiting my whole life to see a youth movement do what it's doing. But it's being hijacked by people who are putting in nutty ideas supporting terrorists, nutty ideas saying that we don't need cops in prison. We can't deport anybody even if they rape somebody. Who said this? Chevalier. If we can't say right from wrong, if we can't say good from bad, if we can't separate progressive ideas from regressive ideas, we're going down the same pathway that has pulled the Republican Party into an unrecognizable shell of itself. And I refuse to let that happen today.
Mr. Valiant, the New York Times reported, and I have the quote right here, I'll get to it. She is against passed on far-left views. She has attacked interracial relationships in the American flag. Lady, I ain't in the same party as you. I'm sorry. I just not. And I actually do think it's time for Democrats to talk the S word, schism. I really do. Everybody's always said, no, we're coalition, we're big tent. And there's just some shit that I can't be in the same tent with. So I just cannot. Maybe there's a way that you can say to, I guess Mandami is the leader of it, is, you insist that, try to insist that the people that run under your banner run as a democratic socialist and don't use the Democratic Party as your guideline, and let's negotiate the terms of a schism here. Maybe we can part under some kind of advantageous terms for both of us. But I'm done. I'm not in that fucking political party. I am totally comfortable in a political party that spends time questioning the policies of the government of Israel. In fact, I'm enthusiastic about that. I don't want to be in a political party that denies the right of the state of Israel to exist. That's just not, I just can't do that. I'm sorry.
My next piece is called Nothing Can Stop What's Coming. You are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Nothing can stop what's coming.
There you have it.
And no, Yeti, I made that AI music for the video. So it's not copyright. They're probably going to claim it as copyright because that's what they do, right?
Welcome to agreeing with Carville.
Yeah, right?
Boy, oh boy, we haven't done that very often. We've done it a couple times, but man, oh man, you talk about the moment where people wake up. And we've talked about this a number of times whenever we're digging into these different things on the explaining how the idea of fighting communism is a great idea, but everybody disagrees about what it is. So if everybody disagrees about what it is, it's very hard to fight it together. Well, you can clearly see right now that there's a group of Democrats out there that know what communism is, and they're not afraid to come out and stand up and say that, hey, we're not going to be communists. I mean, this lady is not joking around. She went on Fox News this weekend to say that they want to abolish the Senate, the presidency, the Supreme Court, ICE, all borders, all prisons. They're going to get rid of all prisons, all borders, get rid of your right to own a firearm also, by the way, defund all from the Pentagon, and give mass amnesty to every illegal immigrant. Like, you could not come up with a more absolutely insane, like, think about what that country would be. Think about what that country would be for 10 seconds. No Senate, no presidency, no Pentagon. All illegals are allowed to come here. What are you even talking about? There's no sense of a country left. The only thing that would be left would be territory for the kings of the world to redistribute the wealth, which is what they've been chomping at the bit wanting to do for 250 years now.
That's right. And Shady, we got to, that's great points. And what people don't realize is that people coming into the U.S. does not solve world hunger. And it does not solve anything, Shady.
Yeah, I've heard them say things like that. Mm-hmm. Like that makes people coming into this country makes more Americans hungry.
Yeah. And there's still $5 billion people in other countries that can't make it here. So we're basically bringing in the people that actually could do their own country good, taking them away from their country to do good by their families and friends and neighbors, and bringing them here.
It's crazy, man.
You don't understand. It's just a gumdrop. That's right, Eddie. I posted a video about the gumdrops.
But what you're seeing right there is you're seeing the moment where we agree with Democrats, the moment where we can all come back to some sort of sane middle that says, yes, We differ on ways to govern within a capitalist society. Yeah. We don't differ in the idea of having a communist society rule over us. That's a bunch of nutbags. They're less than 20% of the elected class, and they're less than 10% of the population. But they're all 100% convinced that they are better than you, and they're convinced that they're right, and that they're willing to burn things down and to harm you to prove their point. That's the reason that we can't listen to them. That's the reason we have to walk away, and we can assimilate with Democrats that agree with us that we don't want communism.
And it's a Q-proof because they will start turning on each other, and that's what they're doing, guys. They can't hide it anymore. So, Shady Groove, this is what we're doing. I got one more to go. Ready?
Pesky Q-proof maxing.
Yeah,
maxing time. Keep pushing. Get that proof. This is how we max.
Woot! Oh, I love our Pepe, Shady Groove. So pesky Q-proof maxing. We've got one more for you, Shady Groove. What happens if Biden became president of the United States knowing that he, through Hunter +2, took massive amounts of bribes to look the other way, U.S. policy towards China in favor of China? Would China own and control the White House? Now, in 2026, investigative journalist Catherine Herridge reviews released PDB, Presidential Daily Brief Records, which is also Q-proofs, and finds material discussing blackmail by China targeting the Biden family. The media response was obviously willful blindness. They didn't want to look. The money trail was already public. Millions from CEFC and Chinese entities to Hunter. We've covered this on the MG show in the past years. 10% for the big guy. We've covered that. The $40,000 check that was routed to Joe. Q didn't just predict influence. He described the compromise. Future proves past. Here it is, Shady Groove. Check it out.
What we saw in the release of the records, which I'm afraid, I think in the media or legacy media, there was kind of a willful blindness. They didn't want to look at the records. All you had to do was spend a couple of hours. I found these records, which are talking about blackmail by China. It was for President Biden's daily brief. I can conclude, I think, that it was probably about targeting his family. When that kind of information is not reaching a decision maker, ultimately the United States and the American people are the losers.
Right.
And I think that's what people need to be focused on.
Well, it's dangerous as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not getting into it.
So this is wild. So in these documents she's holding right here, we're being told is information and evidence that the Biden family is being blackmailed by China. This is something that we all thought was happening, but now there seems to be proof. Now, we're not being told what the proof is, but she's saying that it is there, and I'm sure it will be released. So we can speculate a little bit. I found a clip that I shared.
All right, I'll leave it there. But interesting, huh, Shady?
No, it's very interesting because it's exactly what Q explained about why all of these people are doing that. Everything that we've been reporting to you for the last 7 years lines up perfectly with the architecture of the way China was built, the way the system behind the curtain operates, and the way that all of these people scratch each other's back. And the only way that you're ever going to see this is to pull back the curtain so everyone can watch it happen in real time. And you saw it 4 years. We reported on it every day here for 4 years, an exhausting slog that we went through to tolerate this POS and to watch these millions and millions of people roll across the border during his administration. It was absolutely insane. But then the next thing happened. All these people started acting like they loved it. So all these communists started like going to microphones and acting like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. We're importing the world's best people. You're crazy. You're importing some of the worst human beings ever created on this earth and bringing them in here and giving them benefits that we earned, that we saved for, that we put away for, that you're passing off to these people like they deserve anything. They don't even deserve the time of day, much less our benefits.
Yeah, it's amazing, Shady Grove. And I wanted to get into some more things, but I don't have time. It's already 1:52, guys.
Is it really?
Yeah. Let me play the short version, and I'll give you guys the long version. But we have been warned about communism before in the past. In 1946, there was a bunch of videos done against communism. And it was, they in 1948, it was a cartoon, and they basically handed America what it would look like if you had a free bottle of ism, okay? And all you had to do was sign away your freedom. No more private property, Shady. No more strikes, no more votes, just everything is fine. Everything is fine, Shady. And this is the same playbook, but the different decade. They never stopped. We just stopped noticing. And
Yes.
I'm going to have you guys watch this little short 2-minute part of a 9-minute video. The video is called Make Mine Freedom, 1948. John Sutherland Productions, Fun and Facts About America series, public domain Cold War cartoon. And this is one in a series of films produced by the Extension Department of the Harding College to create a deep understanding of what has made America the finest place in the world to live. Check it out.
Signing up. You boys ought to try a little taste of Dr. Ism's formula to see what you'd get in exchange for your freedom. Go ahead, try it.
You can't do this to me! I'll strike!
The state forbids strikes.
Wait till the union hears about this!
Ah, yes, the union. Welcome to our ranks, number 1313.
I'll take this case to the Supreme Court.
The state is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows. No more private property. No more you.
The farm voted put a stop to this.
Farmers don't vote anymore.
What'll they do for seed next year?
You won't have to worry about next year. The state will do your planning from now on.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
Now, gentlemen, no violence, please. Don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles. No.
So I want you to just understand that statement. Let me read it one more time because it's very important to understand. When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom. Huge quote there, Shady.
This is what we're fighting against. This is what it means when it says we the people are the cure. Not we the people that get imported here from foreign countries that already believe in communism. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. And with everything that we've shown you today, God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. The infomercial that we showed you paints a clear picture for what it is that we are after here. We want to put these people to the test. The test is, do the American people have mercy on them? That test happens in a jury box. That test happens in a courtroom. That test happens in by the book. And I will abide by anything that any of those 12 jurors in any case decide. What I want is I want them to be prosecuted. I don't necessarily want anyone to be convicted. I want a jury of their peers to decide whether or not they are guilty. As we getting ready to wrap up, Jeff, I've got a 15-second video.
Commercial too.
I understand it, but it's 15 seconds, really quick, but I want to show you an example.
Just let you know.
This is important to show you infiltration. Watch the migrant flow allowed by all of your political class during the Joe Biden administration. If not for patriots standing up and getting Donald Trump elected, this would have continued. Look at this. This is real. This is the flow. 600, 800, 1.5, 2, 3 million people. Look at all of them coming from Cuba. 6, 7, 8 million people came here, guys. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 million people. That's the migration flow. That's how they steal your country. This is what Donald Trump is standing up against. And thank you all for being here.
Let me talk too, because I want to. That is a great video. I reposted that yesterday, and I also showed you the gumball, and I'd love to go over that tomorrow. What you just posted and the gumball theory of how that doesn't work, guys. Okay, it's good. I wanted to save that for tomorrow, so let's do that.
We can go over it tomorrow. I just wanted people to see like how many people are in here, so that you can understand why this is so important for Donald Trump to get them out.
And then I want people to understand that, because the liberals will never understand it, Shady Groove.
They don't understand it intentionally because they have emotional connections to their belief systems, not an emotional connection to their fellow Americans.
That's right. Let me get this commercial done before we get on out of here, Shady Groove.
All right, let's do it.
We got Neutronics Labs, guys. This is some amazing stuff. We've got, the Neutronics Labs here. Let me grab the stuff. Where is it? Okay. This is your Man's Edge testosterone booster right here. There's the website. I'm going to take mine now because it's amazing. These benefits support your immune system, fat burn, muscle building, joint health, improve sleep, combats less stress and cortisol, boost energy and libido. And, you want to hold it there for a couple seconds, but you want to go to neutronicslabs.com/MG for 50% off with an auto ship. And not only that, you'll get a premium bottle right here, a platinum bottle of IGF-1 completely free of charge. Plus, you'll get an extra 10% off when you use that code MG. And this stuff, Shady Groove, I've been using it and I love it.
Very good. So amazing.
Thank you guys so much. Wow. So, what a great show today, Shady Groove. We had so much... We take 2 days off, Shady Grove, and all heck breaks loose.
Yeah, we have to report on Mondays. Are always reporting like 4 days of news in like one day, and then he hit us with this at 1:27 a.m. last night, and we said, okay, this is what we're going to be talking about. No, we're not going to be necessarily talking about the Correspondents' Dinner. We're going to be talking about how to get patriots positioned so that your future is very, very bright moving into the golden age. And Donald Trump has decided to drop you a little financial advice.
So what do you guys think? Do you think Trump 2028? You guys like that idea? Press 48 if you like Trump 2028.
48! I love that number.
48?
Yes, do it.
All right. And let's go out of here with the calm before the storm, because I think that's exactly what we just witnessed in that post, Shady Groove. Yeah. The storm is going to happen, and for you to prepare for it, for your family and your own benefit as well. Pretty amazing.
This is the first time I've typed 48.
48. Look at all those. 48.
Yeah, look at all of them. I really felt good. I mean, it felt right. You know what I mean?
It felt right to say, because I want Trump 2028. That would be 48, wouldn't it? I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it.
All right, here we go. The calm before the storm. MG Music with Eddie Mike. God bless you all. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
You guys want a Diet Coke? I got you Diet Coke.
I can feel it in the air tonight. I see the signals in the wire. A question in the darkness, a spark inside the fire. They laughed at all the breadcrumbs, said nobody would see, but every drop was thunder rolling over history. The maps were drawn in silence, the clocks were set in code. The faithful kept on watching down that long and narrow road. And somewhere in the distance, through the noise and through the swarm, you can feel the whole world holding still. It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. When the truth comes marching in, when the ones who sold the people out have nowhere left to spin. MG on the front line, Trump standing at the door. The drops become the lightning. It's the calm before the storm. Jeffrey's reading through the wreckage, Shannon's calling out the names, pulling threads from every headline, showing patterns in the game. They buried it in back rooms, they hid it in plain sight, but the MG show kept digging till the dark was in the light. From the Q drops to the questions, from the boards to what we know, every lie starts cracking when the receipts begin to show, and the machine starts shaking like it's never shook before, 'cause the people aren't sleeping now. It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. When the truth comes marching in, when the ones who sold the people out have nowhere left to spin. MG on the front line, Trump standing at the door. The drops become the lightning. It's the calm before the storm. No more shadows for the wicked, no more deals behind the veil, no more kings without a kingdom, no more justice up for sale. Every document, every witness, every secret they ignored comes rolling like a wave tonight and crashes on the shore. He's not moving like a rumor, he's not speaking just to speak. He's been watching from the tower while the proud became the weak. And the storm ain't made of anger, it's the way to what is true. It's the sound of all the hidden things finally breaking through. So light the board and mark the moment, let the broadcast carry on. Tell the ones still in the valley that the night is almost gone. MG, keep the cameras rolling, let the record be reborn. The air is still, the sky is charged. It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. When the truth comes marching in, when the ones who sold the people out have nowhere left to spin. MG on the front line, Trump standing at the door. The drops become the lightning. It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. Before the storm.
Yeah. Now, if you paid attention today, if you're elected, he might be the 47th still. But if he gets selected, it's totally different. He could be 48. God bless you all. Where we go, one we go all. www.mg.show. Boom.